Hi guys, and welcome to this second chapter of our three-part mini-series called Sex, Sleep and Sweeping the Floor. Now we know when we work with new couples in the transition to parenthood that there are so many changes that you're going to undertake as they navigate this whole new family thing, but we know that these three topics are the ones that our new parents find are the most challenging. So we've put together this series to be able to give you the hints and tips that you need to not only survive but thrive as you're becoming this fabulous new family. And in this video, we are going to be talking about sleep. One of the most important things that we can talk about. Did you know in the top 6 issues that couples fight about, especially when bringing a new baby home, if you have a look right down the bottom there, it is fatigue or lack of sleep. And we know that this can be a catalyst in really causing some damage in a relationship. And on top of that, we know that when you bring home a new baby, you're going to have a lack of sleep. So we put those two together. We understand that you are all going to lose sleep when you have this little baby and you bring this new baby home. But just because we know it's going to happen doesn't mean we just accept it and we go, oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it. Yes, there is. That's why you're watching this video. Okay, here's some research. In the first 6 months after bringing your first baby home, second or third, you are going to lose on average 2 hours sleep per night, 14 hours in a week and 56 hours in a month. I know. It does get slightly better in the second 6 months. You're going to only lose 1 hour of sleep per night, 7 hours a week, or 28 hours per month. Now, if you add up the first 6 months and the second 6 months, you are going to lose a grand total of sleep the first year that your baby is on this earth of, are you ready for it? 504 hours sleep. That actually equates to 72 full nights that you are going to lose. Any wonder sometimes we find this transition to parenthood a little bit hard. But remember, just because we know it's going to happen doesn't mean there is nothing that we can do. Yes, this is going to be your new normal. Yes, it is going to only be for a short period of time. And yes, things are going to get back to your old normal. But we have to address something because a lack of sleep does have some really serious side effects. It's not just about being tired as a new parent. It has massive consequences in relation to how you work as a couple, how you are as a new family. We're going to go through those now. Okay, this is my serious face. And the reason I'm putting my serious face on the screen is because you have to understand that this is just more than being a little bit tired, okay? So I'm going to go through a little bit of technical stuff to start with, and I'm going to tell you what a lack of sleep is proven to do, okay? First of all, a lack of sleep is proven to increase your stress, anxiety, and depression. Now, we know that after only 1 or 2 nights of less sleep, it can make perfectly healthy adults actually show signs of depression. That's after 1 or 2 nights with less sleep. So can you imagine what's going to happen? 1 night, 2 nights, 7 nights, 2 weeks, 3 months. All right. So our adrenaline is increased when we don't have enough sleep. Our cortisol is increased. These are our stress hormones. So because we've got stress hormones in our system, we are going to show increased signs of stress. Guys, you don't want to be stressed, anxious, or depressed when you're working with this brand new family, this brand new baby, and wanting to reconnect as a couple. All right, the second thing that a lack of sleep is proven to do is to increase weight gain. When you don't get enough sleep, there's more hormones. Your body will increase a hormone called ghrelin. Ghrelin makes you hungry. It will decrease a hormone called leptin. Leptin makes you feel satisfied. So when you don't get enough sleep, you're going to feel hungrier. And when you do eat, you're not going to get satisfied. And that can really work with making you put on weight or finding it hard to lose weight. So there's number 2. Number 3, a lack of sleep is proven to decrease your immune system, and that will make you susceptible to colds, fevers, viruses, bacterial infections. You guys are brand new parents. You want to create every moment to be as memorable as you can. You don't want to remember your baby's first 3 weeks of life with you guys with 7 days of the flu, okay? So for your own health and well-being, you need to have a good sleep because we need to make sure our immune system is as strong as it can be. All right, number 4, a lack of sleep is proven to heighten negative emotions. Now, you've got a little almond-shaped mass in your brain near the hippocampus, and what this is called is the amygdala, and the amygdala is the control center for emotions. And when you have less sleep, this actually increases your amygdala activity, which means you will be more negatively affected than you would be in a normal situation. You know, like the whole knock over the glass of milk, oh, well, it's okay. But when you've got this negative cycle that you're going through, knock over the glass of milk, well, the world may as well be over. And you don't want to feel like that, especially when you're bringing a new baby home. Number 5, a lack of sleep is proven to reduce your DNA, cellular, and tissue healing. When you sleep, and it's generally between about 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., your body releases a growth hormone. And it is this growth hormone that works with your DNA to repair DNA, repair broken cells or damaged cells, and your tissues. And you guys have just been through birth or pregnancy and birth. You've got tissues that need healing, you've got cells that need repairing, and you've got DNA that needs to be boosted. So you need to make sure you get the sleep you need so this growth hormone is released into your system to create the healthiest you that you can possibly be. Right, number 6, a lack of sleep is proven to impair your memory and your attention span. When we sleep, it creates new neural pathways to connect in our brain, and this increases our memory and our attention. When we don't get enough sleep, they don't match up, which means our memory is shot to pieces, our attention is gone. And guys, you want to be remembering every single thing that is happening as a new family. So that and your iPhone, you'll remember it. But guys, remember this precious time. You don't want to be brain fogged. All right, number 7. A lack of sleep is proven to increase accidents due to poor focus. One of the biggest things that we hear about is small car accidents that happen because mums or dads are doing simple errands and they have a lack of focus and they have a small accident. Guys, we don't want you to be in that situation at all. We need you to be strong, focused, and attentive. Okay? And here's the next one, the last one we're going to say. A lack of sleep is absolutely proven to kill your sex drive. No questions asked. What will happen is a lack of sleep will reduce your testosterone, which is your sex drive hormone. It reduces things like lubrication, and when you're not lubricated or you don't have a lubricant, you know sex is going to be more difficult, more painful, more stressful, and it also increases sexual distress. Now, we spoke about this in great detail in our first video, and having said that, we go into it in even more detail in our Bringing Baby Home program. Remember, down there, go to relationshipafterbaby.com and have a look at that program. It is, if you're getting anything out of these videos, it is nothing compared to what you'll get out of those ones. All right, all of those things are happening, and add to the mix, you're bringing this new baby home. So you're trying to figure out how to feed a baby, how to dress a baby, how to bath a baby, how to get a baby to sleep. And then you're not getting enough sleep. So you're not DNA cellular healing, you haven't got focus, you're brain fogged, you've got increased stress, anxiety, depression. It can really come to a head at this point. This is why we're making this video for you guys, because we want you to be able to avoid the troubles that can happen with a lack of sleep and all these things that are happening. Guys, sleep is as important as breathing, eating, and drinking. All right, you've got to understand and put them in the essential category. Sleep is not a luxury that, oh, some lucky parents get to have it. No, you've got to work with this with a contingency plan and make it work for you guys. So here's some cool research. Study of University of Berkeley followed 60 couples, and they found that when they got more sleep, or they got the regular 7 to 8 hours, they worked better together, they encouraged each other more, and they expressed more gratitude for each other. Now, these 3 things, this is the research, these are the things we want you guys as a couple to be feeling with each other as new parents. You want to work great together, you want to encourage each other, express gratitude. And they also found that when couples didn't get enough sleep, they become very self-focused and didn't think about the other person. In the Bringing Baby Home program, we speak about what happens and why there is a created divide between couples, because all of a sudden the focus that used to be on each other all the time is not there anymore. And a lack of sleep can actually promote that even more. But here's another point that's really important. The same research found that tired couples or fatigued couples were 4 times more likely to suffer relationship problems. 4 times more likely. So we know you're going to lose sleep bringing a new baby home. We don't want to add to the mix that you're going to be 4 times more likely to suffer from relationship problems. You know, this is a time that you guys need to be connected as a couple and growing as a family, not put in the deep end to actually suffer more distress within your relationship. So it's okay, because we've got some solutions for you here. 10 things that we're going to go through to help keep you guys on track emotionally as a couple and growing together as a family. Number 1, you've got to, here we go. This is usually the number 1 point for all of our videos, but you've got to sit down and really talk this through. This is the most important thing, and the reason it's number 1 is because it is the most important point. You've got to watch this video together. You've got to get that piece of paper and pen out, and you've got to sit down and plan how you're going to get through, let's say, this first 3 months. Could be less, could be more, but let's say 3 months for the sake of this video. This is important, guys. You know how much planning goes into a wedding? You know, a wedding is 1 day, all right? And there's usually days, weeks, and months of planning to go into 1 day to get that happening, so it all goes to plan. So we're talking about 3 months of your life and the biggest transitional time that you'll probably ever experience. So this isn't a 5-minute conversation, guys. This is really planning to be able to survive and thrive through your lack of sleep. You've got to create an action plan. All right, so number 2, in order for you guys to get the sleep that you need to remain close and connected as a couple and close as a family, is you've got to really look about how you're going to share this workload so you can both get the sleep that you need, both of you, and especially in this first 3 months. Now, guys, I know you've probably got a job to continue to go to. You might have a little bit of paternity leave. If you have, that's great, but we understand you're going to have to be going back to work. And one of the biggest problems that we find with our new couples is there's this sort of underlying acceptance that, oh, the guys have to work, so they need to have the good sleep so they can go and work, but mum will be okay because she can have her broken sleep and sleep through the day. You know what? It's a great theory, but no, because mum, it's not. This is a short-term contingency plan. Yes, after we get into a routine, we can look at that as the way that you guys work as a couple. But in this short term, we need this to be split 50-50. You both need sleep as a couple and as a new family, all right? You've got to watch this video because we're going to go through the points, talk about it, get a pen and paper, make a plan, talk about the worst case scenarios. What will happen if this happens? What could we do if that happens? How are you going to cope? All right, and remember, this is not forever. We're not talking this is a 2-year plan. This might be a 2-month plan, and you will get through it if you follow the steps that are following in this video. We guys want you to get sleep. We want you to stay connected, okay? Number 3, accept help. I don't know how to make this one any clearer. You guys are going to hear this over and over again. Your friends, your family, visitors, they will say to you, is there anything I can do to help? And you go, oh, no, we're okay. Wrong answer. No. Well, yes, you are okay, but you're going to be even more okay if you say, you know what, there is something I would love you to do. And then you tell them what it is to do. The more you get someone else to do something, the less you have to do it yourself, which means the more time you have to rest, okay? Makes sense. And don't feel bad about asking people to help. Number 1, they wouldn't ask in the first place if they didn't want to help. And number 2, people actually do like to help. You think about it, if you ask somebody that you feel might be in need, is there anything I can do to help? And they go, no, I'll be all right. And you go, okay. But imagine if they said, you know what, Kylie, I would love it if you could just, next time you're making some spaghetti bolognese, can you just make an extra bit of a pot and give it to me in 2 containers that I can put in the freezer, because then there's just 2 meals that I can do without even having to think about it. I'd actually feel really good, and I'd feel worthy, and I'd feel like I was helping. Get people to help, okay? So here's another thing. Write down a list of potential things people could do to help you. So if you don't write them down and someone just comes out of the blue and says, is there anything I could do to help? You'll go, and because you can't think of anything, you go, no, look, it'll be fine. I'll be fine. But if you go, actually, let me have a look at my list. you know what? Is there any chance, I've got a heap of veggies because I've just done the shopping in the fridge. Is there any chance you can just chop them up for me? And so I can put them in Tupperware. And so when I go to make dinner, I've just got to get them out and put them in the pot. I mean, that is a cool job to get someone to do. You know, anyone that comes over, or just say, Mum, I've got a heap of veggies. Can you cut it up and dice them up and put them in these containers for me? This will save you so much time. You're going to try and get dinner ready at 5 or 6 o'clock at night. And let me tell you what will happen to your baby at 5 or 6 o'clock at night. It's the witching hour. They lose their stuff at that time, and you're trying to get dinner ready, and it's all happening. If we can make this process slightly easier, it means you get to rest more, which means you get less sleepy, less tired, less fatigued. Winner, winner. Chicken dinner with pre-cut vegetables, okay? Like I said before, if someone says, is there anything I can do to help? You know what? Next time you're cooking something, can you make 2 extra things? I'll give you the Tupperware containers. I'd love to put them in my food bank in the freezer, because if you don't have to cook tea, again, more rest time, the better you will feel. They might say, is there anything I can do to help? You know what? Could you just do a couple of loads of washing and stick them on the line, please? Or, you know what, is there any chance you can just do a little bit of folding for me, or a little bit of ironing, or maybe just clean down the kitchen for me while I just go and sit down, or clean my floors, or wash the bath, or whatever it is. Get people to help. Now, I'm not going to talk any more about housework, because we're going to cover that in the next video, which is about sweeping the floor, and we really talk about it in detail. But guys, please, people will say to you, what can I do to help? Say to them, you know what, there is something and I would love it, okay? You are not Superwoman. You can't do everything in the universe. And the other thing is, I believe the real Superwoman is the one that accepts the help. They're smart, they're super, that's the way it should be, okay? Remember, I had twins. I had to accept a lot of help too. Number 4, everyone hates this one. Sleep when the baby sleeps, rest when the baby rests, nap when the baby naps, blah, 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 blah. You know, this is the one that every new mother hates to hear. Yeah. But you know what? I'm not going to not say it just because you don't like to hear it. It is a great theory, and it can work very well in theory if you follow some simple rules. Doesn't mean it will work 100% of the time, but if it worked 80% of the time, you're doing okay. Sleep time, when baby is sleeping, it is not time for you to catch up on your ironing. Baby sleep time is not time for you to catch up on phone calls, catch up on emails, definitely no Facebook. Baby sleep time, see, this is my serious face again. Baby sleep time is a time for you to rest. Now remember, we're not talking when baby is 1, 2, or 3 years old. We're talking when baby is 1, 2, or 3 weeks old. This is short-term contingency. And remember all these things that we just spoke about. A lack of sleep will make you depressed and anxious, put on weight, have heightened negative emotions, less attention span, no sex drive. You guys need the rest. And the important thing is, if baby goes for a rest, even if you can't sleep, rest. Close your eyes. Put on some of that cool meditation-y music, get one of those mindfulness apps on your phone, and breathe, okay? If you rest, you will start to get all those connections, all that healing, all the good stuff happening in your body again. You need to do it. It's important. Speaking of something that's also important is nap when visitors come. Now, you're going to be inundated with visitors. They're going to be from everywhere, uncles and aunties and friends and mothers and sisters and brothers. And you know what? The last thing, well, I understand you want to see them as well, but remember, short-term contingency, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever, is instead of you making all the cups of coffee and entertaining these people, and let's face it, they're wanting to see the baby anyway, hand the baby over to them and say, you know what, can you play with baby for a little while? I'm just going to get 1 hour of sleep. It's probably the best thing you can do for me. And go and lay down for 1 hour. It is excellent. Guys, anybody that will come over will feel important. They're not taking the baby anywhere. They're still going to be there, but you can rest. They can have some quality time with this new little human, and you can have some quality time with some sleeping, okay? Really important. Number 6, no late night catching up on TV. I know Netflix and all of the good shows that you used to watch. If you put baby down, they finally sleep at 10 o'clock. It's not time just to quickly watch something for 1 hour or 2 hours. I know you've got to come down, and maybe when the baby's 3 months old, you can do this. but in this short term, you need the sleep. Okay, I'm not going to harp on about it. You need the sleep. Baby goes to sleep, you turn off the lights. You try it as hard as you can to get to sleep by 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, actually, it's interesting. There's a gland in your brain called the pineal gland, and it releases a hormone called melatonin, and melatonin is your sleepy hormone. It's the hormone that will make you fall asleep, and this is really kicks into gear at 10 o'clock. So if at 10 o'clock baby goes to sleep and you go, oh, wow, I'm going to watch The Waking Dead or whatever it's Walking Dead or whatever it's called, for another hour or two, you actually kick that whole system out of whack. Melatonin goes, you won't fall to sleep as easy, all right? The ideal time is 10 o'clock, just so you know. That's with your circadian rhythm. Number 7, no devices in bed. And when I say devices, I'm actually talking about things like iPhones, iPads, computers, televisions. We all know the effects of blue light and how it actually stops the release of melatonin. Funny, we were just talking about that. And if you don't get that release of melatonin, you won't feel tired. So blue light we know we can actually get rid of now by looking at our devices and turning on that nighttime mode, which gets rid of blue, creates amber, much better. But just because we've done that does not mean it's a free ticket for you to be able to look at as much TV or phone or iPad as you can, all right? Because what we also know, even if the blue light isn't there, whatever you're looking at will stimulate your brain. When your brain is stimulated, then you can't fall asleep. You'll sit there, you'll watch the hours tick away, you'll get tired, and we know the rest of the story. Here's a radical idea. I don't know, just try it. How about you turn off all the mobile phones and devices before you go to sleep, even go as far as turning off your modem. Now, I know everyone gets a bit scared of that. You know what? Try it. The less of those magnetic waves or whatever they're called that are going through the house, the better it is for your sense of quality rest. Okay, here's another one, night for night. All right, instead of both of you getting broken sleep, why don't one of you sleep and then, well, one feeds the baby and then alternate it? We hear a lot of new parents that have great success with this. Yes, guys, I know you're probably going to have to get up and go to work, and sometimes you'll be tired, but you're only going to be tired every second night. But we need you to help out here just in this short term. Girls, we know how hard it is, and all the effects that even a lack of one night sleep can have on your body. But imagine 1 night, 2 nights, 2 weeks, 2 months. If you are breastfeeding and you can express, then that is a great option. If you're already bottle feeding, that's excellent as well. Obviously, it's harder if you can't express. We're talking an ideal world, and yes, this is the theory. And you know what? You can go night for night. But if not for the two of you, see if you can have a relative come and stay the night at your house and give you just both of you 1 night's sleep. You're nowhere away from the baby. You might still hear the baby, but you can sleep. And this can be really good. There might be someone that you really trust that can come once a week. And that we hear again that couples have great, great success in doing this way. I know it sounds great in theory, but this is what this video is. They're ideas. You implement the ones that you feel will work for you. Okay. We also know that there is something you can do, and it's called co-sleeping. I'm not going to talk about it here because this is something you need to research for yourself and decide if it is for you, for your family, and if it's safe to do so. So again, you can have a look at it online. This next one's going to hurt, and I'm really, really sorry about this. Really sorry. But it's not forever, I promise you. But in the first couple of months after having a baby, when sleep is the most important thing, you've got to limit your caffeine and your alcohol. I know we're the biggest coffee drinkers in the world, and that 1 cup of coffee in the morning will hit your system by 15 minutes full pelt, will be half in your system by 6 hours. There is still caffeine in your system 12 hours after 1 cup of coffee. So if you had another cup of coffee after 2 p.m., you are still going to be feeling the effects of of caffeine by the time you go to bed, and that's going to disrupt your sleep pattern. The general rule of thumb is the less caffeine you can have, the better, but definitely nothing after 2 p.m. because it will still be in your system by the time you go to bed, and that will disrupt your sleep cycle. The same goes with cola drinks. Yes, they're a pick-me-up, I get it, but it will do exactly the same thing. The same goes with teas. A lot of caffeine in a cup of tea. I hear so many people go, oh, I don't drink coffee after 2 p.m., I'll drink a cup of tea. There's as much caffeine in so many teas as a cup of coffee. Chocolate, especially dark chocolate, lots of caffeine. And did you know that some pain relievers actually have a high level of caffeine? And if you have a bit of a headache before you go to bed, whack a couple of those in with a nice glass of water, well, you've just given yourself a pick-me-up for the next 6 hours. You're not going to get the sleep that you need. All right, and needless to say, wine or alcohol, what that will do is, yes, it will make you drowsy to start with, but after about 2 hours, it disrupts your whole sleep pattern and puts you back awake, and you will not feel refreshed afterwards. All right, I know we love our wine, we love all of those lovely things. This is a short-term plan to get you through. You'll be able to introduce these things again at a later time, okay? But alcohol does disrupt your sleep cycle. It delays your onset of and shortens your REM sleep, which is the restful sleep that you need. Guys, rethink the drink, okay? Oh, by the way, fatty food and spicy food also disrupt your sleep cycle, so really limit those in your first couple of months after having a baby. And as a side note, we know that the darker your room is, the better sleep you will get. Remember that pineal gland that produces melatonin. It happens when it's dark. If there's light, it won't happen. So darker the room is, the better, and the cooler the room is, the better. And the ideal temperature is between 15 and 20 degrees Celsius, or between 60 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So keep the room cool for a better night's sleep. Remember, guys, I know I've said it, this is temporary, okay? This is not going to last forever. This too shall pass. But if you do the things what we've been outlining, you will really, really find you will get through it much easier. And this is our last thing, since we're talking about that, is remember, it's not too weak to speak. If you feel that it's a little bit of a struggle, speak to somebody about your lack of sleep. Don't wait for weeks until it becomes too big. As soon as you go, you know what, I'm thinking this might be a problem, speak to your GP or your gynecologist or your obstetrician or a psychologist or a counsellor. Speak to someone. It doesn't make you a bad mum. It doesn't make you a bad dad. It makes you clever people, because you are seeking the support that you need to be able to get through this fabulous transition to parenthood, okay? It is okay to ask for help. I don't know how much stronger I can emphasize that. So there you go, sleep after having a baby. Talk about it with your partner, really plan it. This is not a 5-minute discussion, write a few things, scribble on a piece of paper on a napkin and put it in the drawer. Plan it, okay? Share the workload, share the sleeping, share the duties with the baby. It's not forever. It's only until you can get over this time and start getting into a routine. Rest when the baby rests. We know that. Go night for night with feeding. Remember, goodbye coffee, wine and sodas. But I hope this has given you some ideas to be able to make you guys strong as a couple and strong as a new family, because that sleep is one of the most important elements that we need you to focus on. All right, there are those top 6 issues that couples fight about after having a baby. We've already talked about sex, and we've talked about fatigue or sleep. Our next one, you'll see there, number 3, housework or sweeping the floor. But not only these 6 things, there are 14 things that couples really go through when they're bringing a baby home. And that's why, again, I'm going to quickly tell you about our Bringing Baby Home program. If you look down there, relationshipafterbaby.com. The Bringing Baby Home program is 14 downloadable videos. You get a workbook. You do it as a couple in your own time and at your own pace. And it's a program for strong and proactive couples to be able to really be the strongest parenting team that you can possibly be, because you'll be the strongest couple that you can possibly be. All right, this program, I have sold it to countless couples around the world, and I get such fabulous feedback from it, and I would really love you to benefit from it as well. Go to relationshipafterbaby.com and you'll see it. It's a downloadable program. It's easy as. Guys, it is our passion, it is our dedication, and it is our focus to support you as a couple and as a new family through this transition to parenthood and beyond. Thank you so much for listening to this, our 2nd video. We look forward to seeing you in our 3rd, which is called Sweeping the Floor. But until then, we'll see you later.